Christmas carol. Scrooge. A Merry Christmas to you, sir. Won't you join us in a carol?
Sing a Christmas carol, bah humbug, do you mind? I simply won't be bothered by the foolish of your kind who take another holiday to mount a debt you cannot pay. The frivolity and grief that make me bold. Now let me pass and leave it alone.
Now to the Lord sing praises, all you within this place, and with true love and brotherhood each other now embrace. This holy tide of Christmas on the lofty face, oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy, oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Mr. Scrooge, if we could have one moment of your time.
You may not.
Sing a Christmas carol, remember Christmas past. Celebrate this present time while fleeting moments last. And as for Christmas yet to be, we live with hope someday to see. Goodwill and peace on earth have come to stay. Oh, sing a Christmas carol today. Oh, sing a Christmas carol today.
Ah, humbug!
Marley was dead, to begin with. There is no doubt whatever about that.
The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman,
The clerk
the undertaker,
and the chief mourner, Scrooge himself, had signed it. Old Marley was as dead as a doornail. Scrooge knew he was dead. Of course he did. Scrooge and Marley were partners for I don't know how many years. Scrooge was his sole executor,
his sole administrator,
his sole friend.
and his sole mourner.
There is no doubt that Marley was dead.
This must be distinctly understood, or else nothing wonderful can come of the story we are going to relate. Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name, and there it stood, years afterwards, above the warehouse door.
Scrooge and Marley. He answered to both names. Oh, it was all the same to him. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. Hard and sharp as flint, secret and self-contained, and solitary as an oyster.
The cold within him froze his old features, nipped his pointed nose, shriveled his cheek, stiffened his gait, made his eyes red, his thin lips blue, and spoke out shrewdly in his grating voice. He carried his own low temperature about with him always, and he didn't thaw 1 degree at Christmas. Nobody ever stopped him in the street to say,
"My dear Scrooge, how are you? When will you come to see us?"
No beggars implored him to bestow a trifle. No children asked him what time it was. No man or woman once, in all his life, inquired the way to such and such a place of Scrooge.
But what did he care? It was the very thing he liked. To edge his way along the crowded parts of life, wanting all human sympathy to keep its distance. Once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house.
Mr. Scrooge! And you must be Mr. Marley, I presume. It is Scrooge and Marley, after all.
Mr. Marley died 7 years ago this very night. Any more foolish questions?
Forgive me, sir. I'm very sorry.
What is your business here? I have much work to do. Make haste.
It's at this present season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, that we make some slight provisions for the poor and destitute, who suffer greatly at this present time. Many are in need of common necessities, sir. Many are in want of common comforts.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And the union workhouses, are they still in operation?
They are, however, I wish I could say that they were not.
Oh, I was afraid, from what you said at first, that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course. I'm very glad to hear it.
Under the impression that they scarcely furnish Christian cheer of mind or body, a few of us have endeavored to raise a fund for the poor, in order to raise some means of food and drink, as well as warmth. We choose this time above all others, for it is when want is keenly felt and abundance rejoices.
What shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to remain anonymous.
I wish to be left alone. Since you ask me what I wish, that is my answer. I don't make merry myself, it's Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry either. I help to support the establishments I have mentioned. They cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there.
But many can't go then. Many would rather die.
If they would rather die, then they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Besides, excuse me, I don't know that.
But you might know it.
It's not my business! It's enough for a man to understand his own business and not to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon. That is all. Cratchit? Should I deduct that piece of coal from your salary? Or would you like to put it back, sir?
Of course. Forgive me, sir. I will put it back.
Just as I expected. It astounds me that a man of your meager salary would be so wasteful. But then, of course, it's not your coal, is it? It is mine! You are stealing from me! That is grounds for your dismissal, sir!
I beg your forgiveness, Mr. Scrooge. It just seemed to be getting so much colder in here late in the day, and I thought perhaps...
It is warm enough for me! Keep your hands off my property, Mr. Cratchit.
Uncle Scrooge!
Another interruption. Does no one work anymore?
Oh, Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah! Humbug!
Ah, Christmas a humbug, Uncle. Surely you don't mean that.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right or reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
What right or reason have you to be so dismal? You're rich enough.
Bah! Humbug!
Oh, don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas! What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills with no money? A time for finding yourself a year older, but not 1 hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stick of holly through his heart.
But Uncle,
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way. and let me keep it in mind.
Don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone, then much good may it do you. What good has it ever done you?
I can recount many blessings that have come to my life. An employer who is generous, my good reverend, my good wife.
Wife, that's another thing. Whatever possessed you to take a wife in the first place?
I fell in love.
Love? What a ridiculous reason to marry.
But I have always thought of Christmas as that single time of year when kindness and forgiveness and great charity appear. And people notice people on their way. So with an open-hearted spirit, I must say, God bless Christmas, we need it, so heed it. God bless Christmas, tomorrow is the day. It won't bring me a scrap of gold, still I believe what we have been told, that Christmas does me good, and so I say, God bless Christmas anyway. God bless Christmas.
I hate it. Berate it.
God bless Christmas.
Why don't you go away?
I may not gain a single thing, but it gives me a song to sing. Twill always do me good, and so I sing. God bless Christmas anyway.
Here, here.
Let me hear another song from you. You'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. And you, sir, you're quite a powerful speaker. Why don't you go into Parliament?
Oh, don't be cross, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow. A family Christmas at home with me. When everyone's together, I know that you will say how wonderful, how beautiful a true Christmas can be. Uncle, let's make a memory. Christmas Day with my family.
Of course not. Your sentimentality is sickening. And also a great waste of my time. Good day, sir. That is all.
I'm sorry with all my heart to find you so resolute. Bye-bye, Cratchit, and Merry Christmas.
Goodbye, Fred, and a Merry Christmas to you as well.
We are the daily beggars that beg from door to door, but we are daily children that you have seen before. Love and joy come to you, and a Merry Christmas.
Leave me alone. That is all I ask.
Well, Mr. Scrooge, there it is, 6 o'clock.
You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
If quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I were to stop half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used. I'll be bound. And yet, you don't think me ill-used for paying a day's wages for no work.
It is only once a year, sir.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here all the earlier next morning.
Yes, sir. I will, sir. I promise, sir. God bless you, sir. And Merry Christmas!
Humbug!
Old Scrooge walked out with a growl. The office was closed in a twinkling, and Bob Cratchit, high with Christmas spirit, joyfully proceeded home. On his way, he went down a slide on Cornhill, joined by the neighborhood children, 20 times in honor of it being Christmas Eve. Then he ran home to Camden Town as hard as he could to meet his family and play at Blindman's Bluff, filled with that unique happiness that comes only on Christmas Eve.
As for Scrooge, he took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern, and, having read all the newspaper and beguiled away the rest of the evening with his accounting book, went home to bed. He lived in an apartment which had once belonged to his deceased partner, Jacob Marley, and yet Scrooge had scarcely given him a thought since his burial. The building was old enough now, and dreary enough. Nobody lived in it but Scrooge, the other rooms being all let out as offices. The yard was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew its every stone, would grope with his hands to make his way. Darkness is cheap, and Scrooge liked it.
Once he had reached his room, Scrooge took off his cravat and put on his dressing gown, his slippers, and his nightcap, and sat down before the fire to take his gruel. It was a very low fire indeed, providing very little warmth for such a bitter night.
What? Who's there? Don't come any further up those stairs! No. Pooh! I won't believe it. Now, what do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Can you sit down?
Yes.
Then do it.
You don't believe in me.
I don't.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because any little thing affects them. You could be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of an underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave to you, whatever you are. Humbug, I tell you! Humbug! Mercy! I beg for mercy! Why do you trouble me?
To warn you, Ebenezer, it is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk among his fellow man. And if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is doomed to do so after death, and to wander through the world. Oh, it's me! And to witness what it could have shed, it might have turned to happiness.
You are bound by chains. Tell me why.
Why? Because my spirit never wandered beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing hall.
I made this chain, link by link and yard by yard. Now, weary journeys lie before me. I cannot stop, I cannot rest. Oh, Captain bound and double ironed. I wear this heavy chain of my own making. There's no mistaking who is to blame. By my own hand I fashioned it with choices, ignoring voices, calling my name. Chain of all my sinfulness and selfish pleasure is all that's left behind of all my worldly treasure. This chain that binds my soul in outer darkness evermore. This chain is all you have in store. What chain? I have no chain. Oh, this is long and heavy as this 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain. Do you not feel this weight that you are bearing? This chain you're wearing, longer than mine. Speak comfort to me, Jacob. I have none to give. Peace must come to you from other places, from other faces. A light will shine. Ebenezer, hear me. No man can feel enough regret to compensate for a life that's been misused. But oh, such was I. Oh, such was I.
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business? Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. At this holy time of year, I suffer most. Why did I walk through the crowds of my fellow man with my eyes turned down? And never raised him to that blessed star which led the wise men to a poor bird. Were there no poor before me? Could I not see them? This chain of all my sinfulness and selfish pleasure is all that's left behind of all my worldly treasure. This chain that binds my soul in outer darkness evermore. This chain is all you have in store.
No, Jacob, please, leave me.
Now I bear the weight of my own blindness. I show no kindness to those in need. Selfishness and greed, they both consumed me, and now have doomed me. Oh man, pay heed. You'll be haunted by three spirits.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their business, you cannot possibly hope to shun the path I tread. Expect my first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Can't I take them all at once and have it home, Jacob?
Expect the second on the next night when the bell tolls 1. Expect the third on the next night when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see from me no more, and look back for your own sake. Remember what is past between us.
Scrooge closed the window and examined the door by which the ghost had entered. It was double locked, as he had locked it with his own hands, and the bolts were undisturbed.
He tried to say humbug, but stopped at the first syllable. And being, whether from the emotions he had undergone, or the fatigues of the day,
or his glimpse of the invisible world,
Or his dull conversation with a ghost.
or the lateness of the hour. Much in need of repose, Scrooge went straight to bed without undressing and fell asleep upon the instant.
How now? Have I slept through the whole day and far into another night? It isn't possible that something has occurred with the sun, and it is 12 at noon. Dark as midnight. It's all humbug, I tell you!
The problem of Marley's ghost bothered him exceedingly. Every time he resolved within himself that it was all a dream, his mind flew back to the same problem to be worked through once more. Was it a dream or not?
He lay in this state until the chime had gone 3/4 more, when he remembered, all of a sudden, that the ghost had warned him of a visitation when the bell struck 1. He resolved to lie awake until the hour had passed, and, seeing that he could no more go to sleep than go to heaven, this was perhaps the wisest choice for him to make.
1/4 past. 1/2 past. 1/4 to it. The hour itself, and nothing else. Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who? And what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
Why have you come to me?
Your welfare.
My welfare? Allowing me to sleep through the night would do more for my welfare.
Your redemption, then. Take heed, rise, and walk with me.
My, what a strong grip you have, spirit. You crushed my brittle fingers with that grip. Please, lessen it just a tad.
Well, aren't you a delicate little creature?
Fair enough. What in heaven? My feet have left the ground. Spirit, I am mortal and liable to fall.
Hold my hand near your heart, and you shall be upheld in more than this.
I don't know where you plan to escort me, but I am in my nightgown.
Oh, no one will see you. You will only see them.
See who?
Look.
What in heaven? I grew up in this place. I was a boy here. Oh my, Shirley. No, she's not.
Your lip is trembling. And what is that upon your cheek?
It is nothing. Please, conduct me where you will.
Certainly remember the way.
Remember it? I could walk it blindfold. And there's a bridge, and the church, and my school.
Strange to have forgotten me for so many years.
I know these girls. That is Josephine, and Gertrude, and Rose, and Opal. Oh, they look so happy.
It's Christmas, a time for happiness and family.
And no school!
These are but shadows of things that have been. The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still.
I know it, Spirit. I remember. I remember it all too well.
Well, Ebenezer, I would like to depart for the holiday myself. Is no one coming for you? It is Christmas after all.
I do not know, sir. I have not received a letter in months, sir.
Perhaps your father is still in debtor's prison. Let that be a lesson to you, young man. You don't want to end up like him.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I wish. But it is too late now.
What is the matter?
There were children singing a Christmas carol at my door last night. I should like to have given them something. That's all.
Ebenezer? Ebenezer?
Fran, you're here.
What's all of this? Who are you?
My sister, sir.
I have come to bring you home, dear brother. To bring you home, home, home.
Splendid news for all of us, I must say. I shall go and fetch your trunk. And good riddance.
Is it true? Are we really going home? What about Father? Is he home too?
Yes, home for good and all. Home forever and ever. Father is so much kinder than he used to be. That home's like heaven. He spoke to me so gently one dear night when I was going to bed that I was not afraid to ask him if you might come home. And he said, yes, you should. And he sent me in a coach to bring you.
Oh, Fran, is it true?
Yes, I promise. And you will never come back here again. Christmas at home with me. When everyone's together, I know that you will see how wonderful,
how beautiful a true Christmas can
Peoria.
Let's make a memory.
Christmas Day with our family. She was always a delicate creature, whom a breath might have withered, but she had a large heart.
Yes, she was wonderful.
She died a young woman and had, as I recall, children.
One child.
Your nephew.
Fred. I can't believe it. I won't believe it. Spirit, do you see?
Do you know this place?
No, I was apprenticed here. Why, he's so fuzzy with it. Bless his heart. It's fuzzy with alive again.
Yo ho there, my boys. It's Christmas. It's Christmas, Ebenezer. It's Christmas, Dick.
That's Dick Wilkins, to be sure. He was my good friend. We apprenticed here together. A fine man, I tell you. A fine man.
Yo ho there, my boys. I still can't believe it's Christmas. It's Christmas, Ebenezer. It's still Christmas, Dick. Everyone, put away your work and prepare the room.
Oh, Mr. Fezziwig, don't forget the mistletoe.
Ebenezer, there will be a dance at the party tonight.
Well, then I should have to find someone's suit to dance with. I wonder who it will be.
I know who it had better be, Mr. Scrooge.
Of course it's you, Belle. It's Christmas Eve at Fezziwig's. We've been looking forward to it all year.
Yes, we've so much to look forward to, don't we?
Yes, we do, Belle, a great deal.
Ladies, let's prepare the food. I believe we have enough for 3 Christmas parties.
You know, I heard of Fezziwig is closing up an hour earlier than it even told us.
Why wait, Ebenezer? It's only Christmas once a year, you know.
Quite right, Dick. He's a generous man, yes.
Yes, and I do believe that is why he's such a happy man as well.
Yo ho there, everyone! Let's have lots of room in here. It's Christmas Eve, and at Fezziwig's, you all know what that means. Let the music begin. Christmas Eve at Fezziwig's,
drinking ale and dancing jigs. No ballroom in no London shines this bright. Grab your partner round you go, meet beneath the mistletoe. Now take your lover's hand and hold on tight. Oh, Christmas Eve at Fezziwig is here tonight.
Christmas Eve at Fezziwig's, roasted dogs and roasted pigs. We have 3 dozen cakes and whiskey pie. After you have had your fill, takes the moment spread them thin, and never let the season pass you by. Oh, Christmas Eve at Fezziwig's will satisfy.
Everyone is welcome.
The hostler and the cook, the baker
And the milkman.
Dear brother, take a look. Fezziwig's 3 daughters, the girls from right next door.
the boy from over yonder whose dimples I adore.
Everyone come join us on the floor.
Deck the halls with bells of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don me now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la.
Mr. Fezziwig, our master.
Mrs. F, she dances faster.
Fiddler, keep the music playing.
Long Fezziwig is playing.
Christmas Eve at Fezziwig's, drinking ale and dancing jigs. No ballroom here, no London shines this bright. Grab your partner as you go, meet beneath the mistletoe. Now take your lover's hand and hold on tight. Oh, Christmas Eve at Fezziwig's is here tonight.
Christmas Eve at Fezziwig.
Christmas Eve at Fezziwig's. Christmas Eve at Fezziwig's is here tonight. Hey!
Oh, Spirit, it was glorious. As I remember, Belle and I would dance until we were too tired to walk. Fezziwig was a dear, dear man. I wish I could see him now and tell him how happy he made me, how happy he made all of us.
He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money. 3 or 4, perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
It isn't that, Spirit. It has nothing to do with money. Fezziwig has the power to render us happy or unhappy, to render us slight or burdensome. The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it cost a fortune. He was like a father to me.
What is the matter?
Nothing in particular.
Something, I think.
I should like to be able to say a word or two to Bob Cratchit just now. That's all.
Quickly now, my time grows short. Look.
Oh, my bell! No, spirits, I beg you. I cannot bear it.
Ebenezer, I pray you will forgive this intrusion. I need desperately to speak with you.
Well, then I should hope it would be a matter of grave importance, since, once again, you are interrupting my workday.
This is the last time. I promise.
Well, let's have it.
In the past, we agreed many times that a marriage should occur only after you were able to establish your own office and place of business. Your office with Mr. Marley has been open for well past a year, and yet we've never discussed our plans for a wedding.
Do you believe that this is the proper time or place to bring this matter before me? Do you?
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so, until, in good season, we could improve our worldly fortune by our own patient industry. You are changed. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
You see? Your own feelings tell you that you are not now who you once were.
Humbug! This is foolishness.
Is it? I am the same woman. That which was promised us happiness when we were one and hot is fraught with misery now that we are two. How keenly and how often I have thought of this, I will not say. It is enough that I have thought of it, and can release you.
What are you saying?
I release you, and I do so with a heart full of love for the man you once were. You once were joyful, you once were kind, your dreams were noble in heart and mind. Now only one you must obtain, this golden light of worldly gain.
This is the way of the world. Nothing is harder than poverty, or more fervent than the pursuit of wealth. How shall a man choose?
You once were hopeful, you once were free, but now held captive, you cannot see the lonely prison you live inside, where all affection for me has died.
Have I ever, even once, sought release from you?
I know if you could alter past decisions you have made, a poor girl without a dowry has no chance. I see it all too clearly in your countenance display. All we have is an agreement on
the only love. Spirit, remove me from this place. I cannot bear it.
One shadow more.
No more, I tell you. Why do you delight to torture me?
But you must. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la.
Merry Christmas, Father, you're home at last.
Is Father Christmas really coming tomorrow? Is he?
Yes, indeed. I am sure he will arrive just as he promised.
Father, Mother says that we're going to have Christmas pudding tonight.
Christmas pudding? Is that what you said?
Yes, and I helped make the pudding.
Oh, yes. She was a great help. I do believe it is the finest pudding I have ever made.
It smells delightful. I can almost taste it.
Children, run along and prepare for dinner.
But I saw an old friend of yours this afternoon.
Who was it?
Guess.
How can I? Mr. Scrooge, perhaps.
Ebenezer himself. Imagine Christmas Eve. The bank's closed, the exchange is closed, but Scrooge and Molly remains open. I passed by and saw him working at his desk. And I hear his partner's at the point of death. I do believe he is quite alone.
Spirit, remove me from this place.
I told you, these are shadows of things that have been. They are what they are. Do not blame me.
Remove me. I cannot bear it. Leave me. Take me back. Haunt me no longer.
waking in the middle of a ridiculously long snore, and sitting up in bed to get his thoughts together, Scrooge had no occasion to be told that the bell was once again upon the stroke of 1. He felt that he was restored to consciousness in the right nick of time for the purpose of a visit from the second messenger promised to him by Jacob Marley.
But finding that he turned uncomfortably cold when he began to wonder which of the windows the new visitor would open, he opened every one of them with his own hands, and, lying down again, established a sharp lookout all round the bed, for he wished to greet this new ghost on the moment of its arrival, and did not wish to be taken by surprise and made nervous.
I don't mind calling on you to believe that he was ready for any number of strange appearances, and that nothing between a baby and a rhinoceros would have surprised him. Now, being ready for almost anything, he was by no means prepared for nothing, and consequently, when the bell struck 1, and no shape appeared, he was taken with a violent fit of trembling.
Look upon me. You have never seen the like of me before.
Never!
Have you never met the younger members of my family?
I don't think I have. Have you had many brothers split?
More than 1,800.
So many mouths to feed. I don't like large families.
They aren't so fond of you either. Touch my robe. Today's the day of salvation. Christmas morning, and the city made of snow. Filled with many merry people, shouting greetings as they go. What's a year dark gloomy, London has a whole wondrous glow. It's a merry Christmas morning, Ebenezer, don't you know? Christmas morning, smell the fragrance in the air. Be sweetly blended, there's chimneys everywhere, and the grocers, all the grocers carry fruits and raisins there. It's a merry Christmas morning and a blessing meant to share. Everyone is gleeful, they hurry on their way, so eager and so hopeful for the promise of this day. Just in case they need it, I sprinkle peace goodwill. Receive the Christmas spirit, quiet, warm, bitter cheer.
Excuse me. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas indeed! Merry Christmas to everyone!
It's a merry Christmas morning, what a glorious display. There's a jolly, joyous feeling in the things we do and say. It is over all too quickly, so embrace the Lord we say. On this merry Christmas morning,
Merry Christmas morning, Where are they all going?
To worship, of course. Christmas is not only a holiday, Mr. Scrooge. It is a holy day. Perhaps you forgot. So glad that you noticed him.
And the boy, the crippled one, is that his son?
Yes, Tiny Tim.
And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Saviour, which is Christ our Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly with the angel there was a multitude of the heavenly hosts, crying, Glory to God on high, and peace, goodwill toward men.
Good Christian men, rejoice with heart and soul and voice. Give ye heed to what we say. Jesus Christ was born today. Ox and ass before him bow, and he is in the manger now. Christ is born today. Christ is born today. Good Christian men, rejoice with heart and soul and voice. Now ye need not fear the grave. Jesus Christ was born to save. Calls you on and calls you out to be his everlasting home. Christ was born today. Christ was born today.
Mr. Scrooge, so you do know the carols of Christmas?
I learned them as a boy.
Yet you never sing them.
Spirit, conduct me where you will. I went forth last night on compulsion, and I learned a lesson that is working in me now. If you have something to teach me, let me profit by it.
Walk with me and see Christmas dinner, delightful to behold.
Is there a particular flavor in what you sprinkle from your torch?
There is, my own.
Would it apply to any kind of dinner on this day?
To any kindly given. But to a poor one most of all.
Why to a poor one most?
Because it needs it the most.
This is a poor one indeed. Where are we, Spirit?
Bob Cratchit's.
The house is so small, and all these children, how do they live?
Excellent question, Mr. Scrooge. How do they live on just 15 shillings a week?
Keeping your father and Tiny Tim and Mother.
She wasn't as late last Christmas Day by half an hour.
I hope they will be home soon. Mother, are there presents?
There are a few, but dinner comes first, dear.
Here comes Martha, Mother.
Why? Bless your heart alive, my dear. How late you are. Come in from the cold.
We had a great deal of work to finish up last night and had to clear away in the morning, Mother.
Well, never mind, so long as you are here. see Father and Tiny Tim. Quick, Martha, hide. We'll surprise them.
Father, you're home. Merry Christmas.
Why? Where's our Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming? Not coming upon Christmas Day?
Here I am, Father. Merry Christmas.
Oh, a Merry Christmas to you, daughter. It would not be Christmas Day if my Martha were not here.
It was Peach's idea to surprise you, Father. Did it work?
It was brilliant. I was very surprised and very happy to see that we are all here.
And how did Tiny Tim behave in church today? Good as gold, I suppose.
As good as gold and even better. He is so thoughtful, and he listens so carefully to the Christmas story. Tim, tell everyone what you told me on the way home about the church service.
I said that I hope that people in church saw me, because I'm a cripple. It might be pleasant for them to remember on Christmas Day made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
As we remember Christmas Day, every December let us pray and look to the Savior born today in Bethlehem.
He touched the blind and made them see. He touched the lame who walk like me.
And he sets the poor and captive free by loving them.
On Christmas Day, remember that this is a time for love. This is a time to open your heart and look above. Look unto gentle Jesus, who came to us meek and mild. On Christmas Day, remember the gift of the Holy Child.
Oh, my precious Tiny Tim, I do believe that God is granting you more strength every day.
I pray so, Bob.
Martha, I believe the goose should be done. Go and bring it. Belinda, you may go help her. It may take two to bring such a bird. Peter, you and Maddie may go bring the pudding. But be careful, it is piping hot. Elizabeth, help me finish the table. Father, you and Tim may find your seats. I know you must be tired after a long walk home from church.
I say, that goose smells absolutely scrumptious. I can almost taste it.
It's been cooking all day along with the pudding. I say the whole house smells like Christmas, just as it should.
Indeed, it should be a wonderful meal, dear.
What a glorious goose.
I have never seen such a goose. I dare say, Mrs. Cratchit, that this meal looks to be your greatest success of our entire marriage.
Careful now, Bob Cratchit. Flattery is a sin.
Not when it's sincere. Let us give thanks to the Lord for his gracious provision. A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears, and God bless us.
God bless us. God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No! Oh no, kind spirit! Say he will be spared!
Why? If he'd likely die, he'd better do it, and decrease the surplus population.
Oh, spirit, you condemn me with my own words. I grieve at the sound of them.
Would you decide what men shall live, what men shall die? It may be that in the sight of heaven, you are found more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child.
Mr. Scrooge, I'll give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I give him a feast in my mind to feast upon, and I hope he have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I am sure, on what one would bring to the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. Nobody knows it better than you do, poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink to his health for your sake and the day's, not for his. Long life to him. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, counting his money, I have no doubt.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
Four calling birds,
3 French hens,
2 turtle doves,
And a partridge in a pear tree. An obnoxious laugh. Fred.
Yes, let us go and see your own family's Christmas on this day.
My own family? Humbug. I have no family.
You do indeed, more than you know.
Oh yes, one of my favorites. Gentlemen, shall we?
I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. And what was in those ships all 3 on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day? And what was in those ships all 3 on Christmas Day in the morning? The Virgin Mary and Christ were there on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. The Virgin Mary and Christ were there on Christmas Day in the morning.
Ladies, step up. We must not allow ourselves to be outdone with such reveling by the gentlemen. On Christmas night, all Christians sing to hear the news the angels bring. On Christmas night, all Christians sing to hear the news the angels bring. News of great joy, news of great worth, news of marvelous the folk is heard.
Then why should men on earth be sad since our Redeemer made us glad? Then why should men on earth be sad since our Redeemer made us glad? When from our sin he set us free, all for to gain liberty.
All out of darkness we have light, which made the angels sing this night. All out of darkness we have light, which made the angels sing this night. Glory to God and peace to men, now and forevermore.
Oh, my dear Virginia, it would do me a great honor if you would sing just a little something for us all.
Oh, Fred, really?
You must.
You lay thou little tiny child, by Lily lay. You lay thou little tiny child, by Lily Then woe is me, poor child, for thee, and evermore none sad. For thy parting me the saint will sing, thy
Virginia, your voice is as lovely as you are. How did Brad ever convince a beautiful woman like you to marry a toad like him?
Exactly.
Oh, it was the toad's charm and good looks, of course. Well, along with his kind and good nature.
She should have married for money. Have been much better off.
No, but Top is right. They certainly don't deserve you.
Nonsense. Enough of this foolish talk. It's time to play a game.
A capital idea. What shall we play?
I know. Let's play yes and no.
First minute, I love this game. I used to be quite good at it.
And please, permit me to begin, for I have a most delicious idea.
Very well, off you go.
I'm thinking of something that is neither a vegetable nor a mineral, but rather an animal.
I know. It's the big fat goose which Virginia prepared for Christmas dinner.
Of course. Now, it has nothing whatsoever to do with Christmas.
Now, Topper, no clues. We must follow the rules. Only yes and no. That's all.
Sorry, ask and I shall only answer yes or no.
Is it a live animal?
Yes.
Is it savage?
Oh, yes.
Is the animal ever killed in the market?
No.
Is it a disagreeable animal?
Yes.
Does it grunt and growl?
Yes.
Does it walk about the streets?
Yes.
Of London?
Yes.
It's a bear.
No.
A bear. Well, is it a cat?
No.
A dog?
No.
A pig?
No.
Does it talk?
Yes.
Oh, I know it. I have it.
Well, tell us.
It's your Uncle Scrooge.
Topper said it wasn't a bear. And he certainly is. I should say, he was yesterday when I saw him last. I invited him over for Christmas dinner and he was so disagreeable. He said Christmas was a humbug. Imagine.
I have no patience whatsoever with the man, Fred. You ask him every year to join us, and every year he insults you. Why bother?
Whichever he is, dear, he'll always be my mother's brother. He's my family.
Oh, of course you are right, as usual. Do not permit my attitude towards man to change your generous and loving spirit.
How can you be so false? They say he is fast enough.
Well, so he does, but what of it? His money is of no use to him. He won't benefit himself with it. He won't do any good with it. He has the satisfaction of thinking he would ever benefit any of us with it. Still, all the same, I feel sorry for him.
Sorry for him? For why?
Because his offenses bring upon him his own punishment. He suffers the most from the way he is, his will. So he takes it into his own head to dislike us. And what's the consequence? Well, he misses out on a wonderful dinner and a wonderful party. He may rail at Christmas until he dies, but he can't help but thinking better of it. I defy him. If he finds me going in there year after year saying, Uncle Scrooge, how are you? I shook a little yesterday, I could tell. He told me to keep Christmas in my own way. And so I shall, Uncle Scrooge. So I shall. God bless Christmas. We need it. So need it. It won't bring us a scrap of gold. Still we believe what we've been told, that Christmas does us good, and so we say, God bless Christmas anyway.
Spirit, must we leave so soon? Spirit, where are you? You cannot leave me in the middle of the street without a word. Is your life so short? Spirit!
My life upon this globe is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight. Hark, the time is drawing near.
Forgive me if I am mistaken, but I see something strange strange and not belonging to yourself, protruding from your cloak.
Look here. Oh, man, look here. Look down here.
Spirit, are they yours?
They're man's, and they cling to me, appealing to their fathers. This girl is ignorance, and this girl is want. Beware them both, to all their degree. Most of all, beware this girl, for on her brow I see that written which is due, lest the writings be erased.
Have they no refuge or resource?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
Spirit, where are you going? Will you not answer me? Spirit! I'm in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You are about to show me shadows of things that have not happened. It will happen in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit? Ghost of the future! I fear you the most. But, as I know, your purpose is to do me good. And as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, I am prepared to go with you, and to do so with a thankful heart. Will you not speak to me? Lead on, the night is waning fast, and it is precious time to me. I know. Lead on, Spirit.
I don't know much about it. All I know is he's dead.
Whensoever did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Why, what was the matter with him? I thought he'd never died.
Amen.
What has he done with his money?
Left it to his company, I suppose. All I know is he hasn't left it with me.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know of anyone who'd go to it. Hey, what do you say if we make up a party and go together?
I don't mind going if a lunch is provided. But if I go, I must be fed.
Oh, indeed.
That's a joke that Sam Frisbee made.
There's so much swamp in London.
I was talking about the score of the Notre Dame game. 17-24. Oh.
If we four all have a match here without rain in it.
We couldn't have met in a better place. We're all suitable for our calling, and we're well matched.
Every person has a right to take care of himself. He always did.
That's true indeed. No man more so. Who's the worst fool of a few things like these? You're a dead man, I suppose.
I said, if he wanted to keep who's dead, he should be more natural in his lifetime. Then he'd have someone to take care of him struck with death instead of lying. Greatest pronounced last alone by himself. Truest words ever was spoken.
It's a judgment on himself. That's what is.
If you ask me,
men? It's not much. These two had a real block by the time you got to me. Some seals, pencil case, buttons off his shirt, and this beautiful brooch.
Not very valuable, I'm afraid.
How much?
10 and 6. Not a sixpence more.
You're in a stingy mood today.
Just be quiet. You robbed his grave, now you're robbing me. Who's next? Me! I got sheets, towels, silver spoons, silver sugar tongs, and look! Fruits!
Off his own feet.
Well, sis! How much? I'm just my own money here tonight. £3. Is that all? That's your account. Take a look. Now my money down. What do you call these? Bed curtains? You don't mean to say you took them down, rings and all, with them lying there?
Yes, I do. Line up. And look here. It's his shirt. It's the best he had, and I took it right off him. They're about to waste money by very a minute. How much, Joe?
I'm losing my own money here tonight. You were born to make your fortune, you certainly do it. £3.
This is the last of it, you see. He frightened everyone away from who was alive to profit us when he was dead.
I never thought he'd ever be a friend, but I have to say, in his own small way, he came through in the end. Better off gone, better off done and moving on, better off stiff, better off cold, better off dead and thrown low. I find it kind of funny where it was always and then I should like it more this way. Better off dead, 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 better off dead.
This is appalling! Have they no respect for the man? Any noble feelings at all? Even at his death? Spirits! I see. The unhappy case of this man might well be my own. My life ends that way now. Spirit, this is a fearful place. In leaving it, I will not leave its lesson. Believe me. Let us go! I understand that you want me to look inside, but I have not the power, Spirit! I have not the power! If there is any person in this town who feels emotion connected by that man's death, show that person to me, Spirit! I beg you!
Is it good? Is it bad?
Bad.
Are we quite ruined?
No, there is hope yet, Caroline.
If he relents, there is. Nothing has passed him, such a miracle has happened.
He's past relenting. Why? He's dead. Last night, when I tried to see him to seek a week's delay, why, I told you about the half-drunken woman who told me he was sick.
Yes?
I thought it was an excuse to avoid me. It turns out it was quite true. Not only was he sick, but dying right at that very moment.
Well, so cool, our deaths will show.
I don't know, but before that time, we'll be ready with the money. And though we were not, we won't meet anyone as merciless a creditor as he was. We may sleep tonight with light hearts, Caroline.
Oh, Thomas, heaven forgive me, but it seems like a miracle.
Let me see some tenderness connected with the death, for these dark shadows, which you have shown me just now, will be forever present to me.
And you take the child and set him in the midst of them. And you take him. That is enough for tonight. You better rest your eyes, dear. Your father will be home soon. Seems time for him to be here.
Yes, or past it. But I think he has walked a little slower than he used to these few last evenings, Mother.
I have known him. I have known him walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulders. Very fast indeed.
So have I. So many times, Mother.
And he was very light to carry. And his father loved him so. And there was no trouble.
Father!
Oh, there it is. Come have a seat, darling. I'll have your tea ready.
Oh, Father, don't mind it. Don't be grieved. Tiny Tim is in heaven, walking and running.
You went today then, Robert?
Yes, my dear. I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is. But you'll go there often. I promised him that we would walk there on a Sunday. My little child. Oh, my little child. I must tell you who I saw today. It was Mr. Scrooge's nephew, Fred. I met him in the street, and he said that I looked, a little down, you know? And when I told him about our Tim, why, he is the most pleasantly spoken gentleman. He said that he was heartily sorry for me, and heartily sorry for my good wife, Mrs. Cratchit. How he knew that, I'll never know.
Knew what, my dear?
But you were a good wife, of course.
Everyone knows that.
Of course. Very well observed, my girl. I hope that they do. Heartily sorry, he said, for your good wife. And handing me his card, he went on to say, if I can be of service to you in any way, this is where I live. Pray, come to me. Now, it wasn't for the sake of anything he might be able to do for us, so much as it was for his kind way. And this was really quite delightful. It seems as if he had known our Tiny Tim and really felt with us.
He must be a good soul.
Oh, he is. And if you could see him and speak to him, you would be sure of it. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he didn't give Peter a better situation.
Yes, and then Peter will be in company of someone and will be setting up for himself.
Get along with you.
It's just as likely as not, one of these days. But there will be plenty of time for that, my dear. But however and whenever we should part from one another, I am sure that none of us shall ever forget poor Tiny Tim, shall we? Or this first parting that there was among us? As we remember Tiny Tim,
Every December think of him,
and let's not his memory ever dim or fade away.
He was so patient, good and kind.
he led the way but walked behind. A light in our life that always shines so bright each day. So let us never quarrel. Remember the happy boy. He taught us how to love and forgive and live with joy. He was a gift from heaven who came to us meek and mild. So every day remember our dear precious tiny child.
I am very happy. I am very happy.
No! Not Tiny Tim! Why? Why that sweet little boy? What is the meaning of all this? Spirit, Parkinson's, the parting moments is at hand. Let me behold what I shall be. in days to come. Before I draw near to where you are, answer me one question. Are these shadows of things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be only? Men's courses will foreshadow certain ends to it. If persistent, they must lead. But if the courses be departed from, the end will change. Say it is always what you show. I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I must have been. Why show me this if I am past all hope? Assure me that I yet may alter these dark shadows by a changed life. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirit of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Oh, tell me I may sponge away the writing on the stone! I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. I am alive! Oh, Jacob, dear, dear Jacob, the God in heaven be praised! I will honor Christmas in my heart. I say this on my knees. On my knees. Oh God, my heart is broken. I've seen evil darkness of my soul. On my knees. I've heard the truth spoken. Forgive my sinful ways and make me whole. On my don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. I am as giddy as a drunken man. A Merry Christmas to all the world. A Happy New Year to everybody. There's a saucepan that the gruel was in. There's a door that the ghost of Jacob Marley entered from. Here's my bed where the ghost of Christmas present sat. I don't know what to do. I don't know what day of the month it is. I am quite a baby. Never mind. I'd rather be a baby. What's today?
What's that?
I say, what's today, my fine fellow? It's Christmas Day. I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. They can do anything they like. Of course they can. Of course they can. Oh, my fine fellow. You know the poulterers at the corner? An intelligent boy. A remarkable boy. You know whether they saw the prize turkey that was hanging up there? Not the little prize turkey. The big one.
The one as big as me?
What a delightful boy. It is a pleasure to talk to him. Yes, my buck.
It's hanging there now.
Is it? Go and buy it.
Blimey.
No, I am in earnest. Go and buy it. And tell them to bring it here, and I'll give them the direction where to take it. Come back with a man, and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes, and I'll give you half a crown.
Yes, sir.
How sensitive ball crashes. He will know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. It's a Merry Christmas morning. Little people I must go to. Little gifts that I must give. I have never felt so happy. I have never felt so free. It's a Merry Christmas morning that I cannot wait to see. Ding dong bell on high, this Merry Christmas morning. Ding dong bell in the sky, it's like it was a roaring. Gloria, Gloria, Hosanna in the Chelsea's. Hello, my fine fellow. How do you do? I hope you succeeded yesterday. It was very kind of you. A Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Mr. Scrooge?
That is my name, and I fear it may not be pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon, and will you have the goodness to...
Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
If you please, not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you.
Mr. Scrooge, we don't know what to say.
Don't say anything, please. Come and see me. Will you come and see me?
We will.
It's a Merry Christmas morning. What a glorious display. It's a jolly, joyous feeling. In the rings they do and say. It is overhauled so quickly, so embrace it while you may. On this Merry Christmas morning. 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 On this blessed Christmas Day.
On this Merry Christmas morning, on this blessed Christmas Day.
My, bless my soul. Who's that?
It's me, your Uncle Scrooge. I have come to dinner. Will you let me in, Fred? God bless Christmas, I need it, I need it. God bless Christmas, this is once for me a scrap of gold. Now I believe what I've been told of Christmas. God be good, and so I say, God bless Christmas anyway.
A family Christmas at home we feel. Now that we're together, I know that you will see how wonderful, how beautiful a true Christmas can be. Let's make a memory. Christmas Day with our family.
Scrooge felt it. Home in just 5 minutes. Nothing could be heartier. His niece was beautiful, just as he had seen in his dream. Topper looked the same when he came. So did everyone when they came. Wonderful party, wonderful games, wonderful feelings, wonderful happiness. Scrooge was early at the office the next morning. Oh, he was early there. If he could only be there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming late. That was the thing he had set his heart upon. And he did it. Yes, he did. The clock struck 9. No Bob. 1:15. No Bob. He was a full 18 minutes and a half behind his time.
Cratchit! What do you mean by coming here at this time of day?
I am sorry, sir. I am behind my time.
Yes, you are! On this way, sir, if you please.
It is only once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir. It was the strangest thing. Out of nowhere we delivered this enormous turkey. I still have no idea who sent it. Perhaps I never will.
Enough of your stories! I'm not going to stand this sort of thing any longer! And therefore, I'm about to raise your salary!
Please, Mr. Scrooge, I beg you. I am... What did you say? Raise my...
A Merry Christmas to you, Bob! A Merry Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, that I have given you in many a year. I will raise your salary and endeavor to assist your struggling family. We will discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl smoking Bishop Bob. Stoke the fires and buy another course control before you dutter the ride, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a master, as good a friend, and as good a man as anyone in the good old city knew, or any good old city, or town, or borough in the good old world. It was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. And may that be truly said of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
Bright shines the morning sun.